Three, two, one.
Happy Sunday morning. It is Super Bowl Sunday. Hopefully, you guys are excited for the game. Before the game kicks off this afternoon, I wanted to go over some of my picks and predictions and a little bit of discussion of the game. But first, we'll get to a couple of news and notes from this week. Things have slowed down a little bit in terms of news, which makes sense as we approach the Super Bowl. A couple of teams made some coordinator moves. Probably the biggest one, the Chargers. They pulled in Minter from the University of Michigan to handle the defense. Interesting choice for offense, Greg Roman. A lot of the thoughts about him are the teams that he's done in the NFL as offensive coordinator of the San Francisco 49ers with Jim Harbaugh, who's the new Chargers head coach. You know, different kind of offense, felt like a little bit more run heavy, especially out of the quarterback position. Than he obviously worked with Lamar Jackson in Baltimore. Justin Herbert, a little bit of a different kind of a player. We'll be curious to see how that goes. A lot of questions for the Chargers, though, on offense this offseason. What are they going to do at the running back position? Austin Eckler is a free agent. I don't think he's going to be back. I don't know if they want to trust Isaiah Spiller to completely handle the run game. So wouldn't be surprised to see them make some upgrades there. A lot of questions about receiver too. Mike Williams is talented, hasn't been able to exactly stay on the field. They should have Palmer back. Quentin Johnston didn't look great as a rookie. Can they get more out of him? Will they return Keenan Allen? So a lot of questions to consider there. Looks like Mike Zimmer is going to go to the Cowboys as defensive coordinator. Very loaded unit, so she gives him some stuff to work with. Some interesting comments too this week by the Jets owner. Both kind of slamming Zach Wilson. He basically said the big need this offseason is a backup quarterback. The Jets did not have one last year. Not a great commentary on Wilson, who the Jets are supposedly actively seeking to trade. Be interesting to see if anybody wants to take him and how that morphs over the offseason. Also feels like a lot of pressure on Robert Saleh and Joe Douglas, basically laying down the gauntlet that it's Super Bowl or bust, which would make sense because Aaron Rodgers not getting any younger. It's going to be a big one this week. Well, that's a look at the quick news and notes. Now I think it's time to turn over to Super Bowl, which is the game of the week. In case you weren't aware, Super Bowl 58 kicks off today in Las Vegas. The Kansas City Chiefs versus the San Francisco 49ers. I think the Chiefs are actually technically the home team. Before I get into the game pick, I thought I'd go over a couple of the fun prop bets. First prop bet was how long is the national anthem going to be? The over-under is 90.5 seconds. Reba McEntire performing that. I'm going with the over. Coin toss, head or tails. I'm going with heads. Who will win the coin toss? My pick is the 49ers. I think they will win the toss and defer. So what will the opening drive yield? I think the Chiefs get the ball first, and I think they get a touchdown on the opening drive, which answers my question, which team will score first? I'm going with Kansas City. What will the first score be? I'm going with a touchdown. First turnover of the game. This was an interesting one. Your options are interception, fumble, or turnover on downs. I actually went with turnover on downs. I think this is going to be one of those games where both teams are aggressive. Which team will get to 10 points first? Well, I said I thought the Chiefs were going to score an opening touchdown, but I actually think the 49ers get to 10 points first. I don't think this is going to be a super high-scoring game. Will either team score in the final 2 minutes of the first half? I'm actually going with no on this one. Be interesting to see how it goes. How many songs will Usher perform at halftime? Big news this week. They have an expanded halftime. He's going to have 15 minutes, which is longer than anyone else has ever had. The over-under is 8.5. Last year, Rihanna hit 13 songs. I'm going with the over. I think Usher will top that, especially as it's getting longer. Most passing yards in the game, I went with Patrick Mahomes. Most rushing yards, I went with Christian McCaffrey, although that one's a little trickier than you might at first think. Most receiving yards. This is a tough one. There are a lot of good candidates. I was tempted to go with Kelsey, but I am actually going to go with Brandon Ayuk. I think they'll manage to hit one big one. He's been kind of the big play guy. I think he's going to end up leading the way. Super Bowl MVP, the top candidates are Mahomes, Brock Purdy, Travis Kelce, Christian McCaffrey, Deebo Samuel, or you can go with the other. I'm going with Christian McCaffrey, which will kind of give away who I think is going to win. How many points scored? The over-under here is 47. I'm going with a slight under. I don't think this is going to be a high-scoring game. I think both teams could be in the low 20s, but that doesn't necessarily push you to a 50-point game. What color will the Gatorade be? The popular choices are red, orange, blue, yellow, or other. I'm going with red. Call me crazy. Both teams red. Kind of interesting. The craziest prop bet I think of the week is, will Travis Kelce propose to Taylor Swift on the field after the game? I'm going solidly with a no, win or lose for Kansas City. I just don't think it makes sense. It's kind of fun that it's on there, but not my pick. So the game, San Francisco 49ers finished 12-5 with the number 1 seed in the NFC. Kansas City Chiefs finished 11-6, number 3 seed in the AFC. The Chiefs have a lot of experience. This is their 4th Super Bowl in 5 seasons. They've won 2 already, including beating San Francisco in the Super Bowl in 2020. But this is a little different San Francisco team. Not just Brock Purdy there, but they also have Christian McCaffrey, a better set of weapons. They arguably have the more explosive offense of the two teams. I think this is going to kind of come down to defense. Quarterback, you'd give the edge to Patrick Mahomes. Coach, you'd probably give the edge to Andy Reid. Running backs, overall, I'd give the edge to San Francisco. Receivers, overall, I'd give the edge to San Francisco. It comes down to that defense, and that has been a real strength for the Chiefs throughout the season, and it's normally a strength for San Francisco, but it's not been great for them in the playoffs. Steve Wilkes has really harped on them needing to be better and have a better performance in the Super Bowl. I think that's certainly the case. If they spot a huge lead to the Chiefs, I don't think they're going to be able to come back like they were able to against the Lions and like they were able to come back against Green Bay. Ultimately, I think defense ends up playing a huge factor here. I think San Francisco's defense will be better. I think San Francisco gets it done. It just feels like it's Kyle Shanahan's year. There's a lot of connections on this team to the 1998 Denver Broncos team. I'm all about the Broncos. I'm wearing my Super Bowl 50 champion shirt today for the Super Bowl. So I am picking the San Francisco 49ers. I hope more than anything that we get a good game. So that'll be a lot of fun. In terms of movies, Eric and I are taking the week off of This Week at the Movies because of a little game called the Super Bowl. Everybody's going to want to be watching, but we will be back next week talking about Madam Web, Lisa Frankenstein. I actually saw that movie. I gave it 3 stars. My written review is up on the site right now. I thought it was pretty interesting, pretty fun if you want to bounce out and see something before the game today. We will also be talking about our favorite Super Bowl trailer reveals. Big news today, if you're a movie fan, we get the Deadpool trailer. There's going to be a lot of fun teaser and trailer spots during the game, and full trailers getting released online during the game. So I hope you enjoy all of it. I'll be back next week with a 2023 season wrap up and then sporadically throughout the off season. But I hope you guys have a wonderful Super Bowl. Enjoy the game.